If you've been trying to fry scream and you've been watching video after video and you're just not having success with it, maybe you have a tiny weird squeaky sound.
It's a funny squeaky sound.
Maybe you're basically getting no distortion. Maybe you're just squeezing your neck harder and harder. Then you might be trying to go about this whole thing in the wrong way. By the end of this video, I want you to have a basic idea of the coordinations involved to make this happen, and then hopefully get you set on the right track. Now, do you need a foundation, a singing foundation to do this stuff? Not necessarily, but are you matching yourself up against your favorite singers, people that have been doing this stuff for like decades, and then judging yourself harshly and then wondering why you can't do it? Probably. Not that I've ever done something like that. Maybe it's time then that you take it a little bit more seriously, actually practice a little bit more, instead of just getting frustrated and being like, whatever, man. So I want you to try this with me. If I take a breath into the upper chest, then those muscles are also going to be responsible for pushing the breath out of the body. This is a terrible place to breathe for singing in any kind of way, capacity, whatever. If we take it into the lower stomach here, that's where we're going to be shooting that sound from. That's where we're going to be projecting from. So that's really what we want to ingrain in the body over and over again. So we're going to practice that first. Start off with a simple exercise where we just learn how to kind of pant. If we try to pant in the upper chest, it becomes very strange. So panting is a stupid, easy way to access that diaphragmatic kind of connection. Then we're going to take we're going to put that on top of that pant. Now we have diaphragmatic support. All those people, all those videos you watched, all those things about bearing down, all this different stuff, throw all that away and just come back to something as simple as this. Like that. Now I want you to think about that like you're sitting on the diaphragm, like you filled up a balloon, and then you're sitting on the diaphragm and you're bouncing on it. Like this. Then we're going to put a word into it. Hey, hey. Then we're going to try to push it a little bit further, dive a little bit further into the diaphragm, into the ab wall, and then pretend like we're throwing it to the side of the room. If I go, hey, like that, and then we have diaphragmatic support. It's important to remember here that I've built a course, a free course, where if you want to get better at your foundation that you can join. The link is in the description and the pinned comment. All the things that I skipped right over that you probably tried to skip over too, I put into that course specifically so that people could have that information. Compression and limiting airflow. If I tell you to compress or tighten your throat and you've not really done much of this or studied it very much, your body is going to probably tighten a whole bunch of things or tighten from the first place that you can recognize, which is going to be lower in the neck. Your brain cannot send a signal and tell specific muscle groups what to do until you've trained them or associated them with something or learned how to use them correctly. Same thing goes for playing drums, playing guitar, or whatever. If I tell you to play really fast and you don't know how to do that, your whole body's going to cramp up and just try to play really fast. And we all know that that's not how this works. So having said that, we're going to try to isolate and use a muscle group that maybe you're not used to using right now. So first, I want you to try this with me. I want you to try to sigh. I want you to go, and I want you to pay attention to how open the throat is. It should just feel like everything's kind of a big windpipe, a big open space. Then I want you to move it up like you're hearing me do, a little bit higher into the head. Just like that. Then we're going to become a little bit nasal. This is actually a mixed voice exercise, but it's also a compression exercise. We're going to become nasal, and we're going to think about the sound UNG, a French kind of ha, okay? So, ha. You should be feeling a little bit of growing tension right where your uvula is hanging down, right at the back of your soft palate. Almost like somebody's pushing up against it with a finger or something, which is weird to think about. Right there, we're actually getting compression. Not from here, but from up here. Our sound is being funneled into a smaller space, thereby becoming compressed. Now we're going to take that space and we're going to try to learn how to manipulate it. Keep in mind, you've been doing this for years, you just don't recognize it being associated with screaming, distortion, compression, crying, singing, anything like that. We're going to try to cry into that sound. So we're going to try to compress that space or add more tension to that specific space. Here we go again, in threes, like this. There I now have a kind of a funnel and a tight space that I can push into and become louder with. The first one, ha can fall apart because it's not quite taut enough. But then when I compress it, ha ha ha, it becomes something I can actually push into. The last piece of this is you can try to do it with staccato. Ha ah ah, ha ah ah, ha ah ah. Now hopefully you can understand that has nothing to do with down here. It has everything to do with displacing that compression and moving it up in the body. Next part of this is that you probably hear your favorite artists and your favorite singers and these favorite songs, and you hear the pain, the anguish, the disappointment, the rage, the anger that they're expressing, and then you relate to that, and then you try to do the same thing. You're trying to put it through that same filter and wondering why you don't sound the same. Again, not to come back to instruments, but if I told you that the drummer in that song that you love or the band that you love is expressing some version of pain and anguish and stuff as well, you would never expect to pick up drumsticks if you've never played and be like, I am also going to express myself in an angry manner on the set. No, it takes a lot of skill and a lot of practice. So why would you put yourself through that same difficulty with your voice? Why would you put yourself through the same amount of judgment? Lesson here is be more gentle on yourself with this stuff and realize that this is an instrument just like guitar, just like piano, just like all these things. You need to put time and effort into realizing how to drive this thing, then you can express through it. That's how this works. So we're going to get a little bit weirder with this. I want you to try this. We just learned how to sit on the diaphragm and support. We also learned how to kind of compress a little bit higher and to hold back some pressure, right? So we were kind of going from like this, hey, hey, right? And then we were going, ha, ha, and we were kind of building that cry wall, right? Just for the sake of experimentation to see what happens, right? So we're going to use a phrase that I just came up with. We're going to use, this is mine. A lot of people can probably relate to that in an emotional way from their past or whatever it is, but we're going to be trying to sit on the diaphragm and we're going to start pushing that line further. Then we're going to start crying into it and seeing if we can add expression to it. Whether you have to close your eyes, whatever you have to do, just try this along with me or try it in your car when nobody's around. First we have, hey, we're getting that working. Hey, this, that feels pretty good for me right now. This is mine. This is mine. So there I'm just going, ah, and I'm starting to bear down. And you can see how I'm starting to enter into that emotion right there without even really thinking about it and just kind of getting into that quality of what we're trying to do. Now I'm going to start crying into that sound. This is mine. This is mine. And there I'm starting to have that cry in there. Let's go one more and let's go a little bit bigger with it. This is mine. This is mine. And that's me entering into more of an emotional place with that, saying this is mine. Kind of a weird thing to practice, but if you want to express yourself, you're going to have to try to do stuff like this. Oh, this next one's a big one. You're trying to go too loud, too hard, too fast. I try to do the same thing. Almost all of us try to do the same thing. Screaming and distortion are almost always quieter than clean voice. If I belt like an opera singer, I can fill up this whole room with sound. If I scream or distort, there is something in the way of that clean note. Ah, ah. That note is essentially, in some ways, starting to fall apart, and in other ways, have a dampener over it. It has something over top of it. So it's not going to be as loud. So first of all, that's just knowledge that's important for you to know. Secondly, if you do not know how to integrate all these things and connect them, then you need to practice being quiet first and get the sound to work. Then we can try to support it. At the end of the day, every coordination that you find, whether we're talking about mixed voice or belting or whatever, is probably going to start off by being, okay, I'm learning how to balance and hold on to the coordination. Then I'm learning how to push into that coordination. So it's like having a weak thing that's not set up right and then trying to put pressure through it. No, it's not ready yet. We need to set it up correctly first. And more importantly, volume is never the answer. Sounding good is the answer. We want to sound good, not just impress our friends. Wow, he's really loud. Isn't that awesome? Who gives a shit? A good rule of thumb is that anything that's ridiculously loud is probably not really going to be sustainable or really good for you. Anything that's really ridiculously quiet that you really can't manipulate or make any louder at all is probably not good either. We want to try to find some balance in between. For about 3 months, I was very quiet when I was making this sound first. I had no idea how to support, but I knew that I could kind of make the sound, so I was excited about it and I kept practicing it. Here's where we finally get into some more screaming. This is what I want you to do. First, we're going to be clearing our throat. Calmly and in a relaxed way. I just want you to think like maybe there's a little bit of extra mucus. Maybe there actually is. And just kind of make that sound a little bit. Now, this is probably going to be entering into vocal fry or false chord or both. Then I want you to slowly open the mouth while making that sound. So we had and now we have like that. Right there, we're already entering into a scream. Now we slowly have to learn how to support that and have a balancing act between how much pressure and how much are we holding back. So that's always going to be the game that we're playing. But right now, we're going to bounce on this diaphragm again. And that's my matter of how open I can be or how I can kind of balance that out. So you heard me slowly entering into a scream right there just by clearing my throat. But here's a couple more tips. As I have a clean note, I want you to think about that like a stone right here. Like this. Then I want you to try to think about whispering and hissing up over top of that stone. Then I want you to try to combine those. This might help if you think about vocal fry too. And then we're trying to find that old guy sound in there, or vocal fry, like that. And again, try to come back to supporting. If you can't support and you can just make the sound, that's fine. But we always want to try to return to. You can even start with an H there, which is the hiss or the whisper first. And then we're entering into a scream. Another common problem is you're probably watching too many videos, taking in too much information, and your brain does not know how to tell anything what to do anymore because you're thinking about too many things. This happens all the time when people start taking lessons and they're like, it's gonna be fun. I'm like gonna sing karaoke with this guy and he teaches. And then they start getting bombarded with so much information that they don't even know what to focus on first. Stop watching so many videos from so many people, getting so much different information, conflicting information, how to do this, how to support, how to sit, and just stick with somebody that you like the sound of and you like the way that they teach so that you can kind of relate to them and give some of these exercises more time. Just because you don't think you can do an exercise does not mean that you should just go on to the next video, the next video. The next video can't do that one. I can kind of do that. I don't like the way that person's hair looks. You don't want to do that. Finally, I want you to recognize that you make a lot of these sounds and you do a lot of these coordinations constantly during the day and during your life, but you just don't recognize that you're doing them. Babies scream and yell, and children as well, all the time without hurting their voice. They're literally just expressing themselves and they're not even thinking about this stuff. So if you think that you can't do this, or some part of you is like, I'm not strong enough or I'm not coordinated enough or whatever, it's total bullshit. It's not true. We're gonna go through some common random sounds that you probably make during the day, and then we're gonna finally arrive at trying some of this stuff and really screaming. The morning lazy voice, vocal fry. The annoyed sound. The whiny sound. But I don't want to do that. Quiet monster and creaky door. The yelling at the neighbor dog because it's shitting in your yard. Hey! Hey! And now playfully, I want you to try to put some of this together with me. We learned how to support. We learned how to cry into a sound. We learned how to compress a little bit. And we learned how to kind of take and try to put some texture through that, some of these little sounds, just like the morning vocal fry, kind of groggy sound or whatever. I don't want you to worry too much about how you sound or your favorite artist or your favorite song. I want you to just try to playfully do this with me. First, we're going to bounce on the diaphragm again. Hey. And we're just going to keep using the word hey. Hey. Then I want you to start pushing that like you're pushing it to the side of the room. Hey. Hey. Hey, and you should feel nothing but your stomach on a collapsing in. Then we're going to sustain that. Hey, hey. Remember, you don't have to be that loud. Just make sure you're using your stomach. Then we're going to try to add in some of that vocal fry, some of that whisper. Hey, 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 hey. There, we're starting to enter into some cool territory. And then we're going to try to play with that balance of whisper or the stone connection. Hey, 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 hey. So we had the breath, Then we had the word, hey, supported, bounced, hey. Then we had the clean sustain, hey, like that. Then we had compression, hey, ah. Then we had that little whisper in there and that texture, hey, ah, hey, ah. And that's how we arrive at screaming correctly. I hope you've gotten something out of this. I hope this helped you a little bit on your musical journey. Again, if you want to put this foundation stuff to work and you want to figure that out before you keep chasing all these other extreme things, you can download my course. Link is in the description. Link is in the pinned comment. If you guys want to learn more about certain things or you want me to break down certain voices, I'm happy to talk to you about it. And I'm happy to hear from you in my free course as well. Tell me what's working, what's good. I appreciate it. I'll see you soon.